Okay, so I'm gonna do a review for the Barbie movie. Um, Overall, I liked the movie. I thought it was actually in many parts pretty funny. Um, it's making tons of money. It's close to 800 million worldwide. Um, I'd say the movie isn't really made for me. But I thought it was okay. It's not like the greatest movie ever made, but I thought it was okay. Uh, so just start with non spoilers for there. I enjoyed the movie. I liked it. I like Margot Robbie. I liked her Harley Quinn. I know some people didn't really like it. Um, it's a little controversial, but I thought she's fine. That's kind of a hard character to do in live action. Um, Ryan Gosling's great in it. He's a really good actor. Like Blade Runner 2049, Drive. So he's really good in it. If anything, I think he kind of steals the show. Um, but she's good too. But so it's making tons of money, and I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was amazing, but so and there's some controversy about it. Um, like, is it anti men and stuff? Um, I don't know. It's that could maybe be in there a little bit, but overall, it didn't really bother me that much because I mean the movie. It's like 80% of the audience is women, so the audience it's made for women, so it's a female centric movie. Um, but Ken has some good scenes, and you understand his motives, and but anyways, I'll so that's about it for non spoilers. I guess I'll go into spoilers now. So they're in like this Barbie land. It's like its own world, its own rules. I mean, it's pretty funny. They have like swimming pools, but it's just all plastic. There's no water. They have food, but it's just they don't eat it really. They have like milk in their fridge, but there's no milk in it. Like they don't really drink it. It's just like all like they have the glass, but they don't drink it. Um, I thought some of that stuff was kind of funny because like that's how Barbies are, right? So, um, and they have these houses, but they have no walls on them, and um, it's basically a world ruled by women. Like the Supreme Court's all women. Um, it's all ruled by women, and and then there's Ken, and they're all named Ken. All the men except for one is Alan. I don't know. Maybe there was like a Barbie that was called that, or a male Barbie, whatever that's called Alan at some point. I don't know. And then there's also all the women are called Barbie, I think. And it's funny. There's like a pregnant Barbie, but then they're like, oh yeah, we discontinued that because that's just creepy. And I thought that was funny. Um, So Ken gets is Ryan Gosling is kind of getting in like the first 30 minutes he's getting you can tell he's getting kind of angry. He feels pushed aside. His entire world revolves around attention from Barbie, and and then he one night tries to stay over at Barbie's place, and and she's like no, because it's girls' night, and then she's like every night's girls' night. So so this kind of angers him, and and then Barbie's going through these things, Margot Robbie, where um she starts thinking about death, and she starts getting like cellulite on her legs, and like the milk she has it goes expired, so it tastes bad. Even though they're not really drinking milk, they're not drinking anything, which I thought was funny. Even Ken, when he has like a beer, he's not. There's no liquid in it. But So and then also is there's a funny scene on the beach, and like the all the water's plastic, and he tries to go and jump into the water, and then he hits it and he goes flying because like they're all made of plastic. And I don't know, I thought some of that stuff was kind of clever, and it's definitely visually interesting movie. Definitely. In fact, I was just watching what is it, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I mean, that's a better movie, I'd say, a much better movie. But that movie kind of reminded me of this a little bit because it kind of like there's some animation, but obviously this is CGI. But and that was hand drawn. But kind of reminded me of that a little bit. I wonder if the director Greta Gerwig kind of looked to that maybe a little, because that movie also has like a Toon World and there's a normal world, but they interact. And in this, there's a Barbie land and there's the normal world. So I don't know. Parts of it kind of reminded me of that, but so so Ken is he's getting a little angry, and then Barbie, she's having these problems, so she has to go to this thing, this weird Barbie, and um that kind of reminded me of like in mythology, you like go to the wizard, and like she's kind of like the wizard, I'd say, of Barbie Land, and she explains how to get into the normal world, and Barbie does that, and she leaves in her car, and then she finds out that Ken's in the back of the car, and he's like, I want to go too, so they both go. So um and then in the normal world, like they're kind of walking around, and then they're like, okay, we need to get new clothes, so they get new clothes. They get arrested because they steal the clothes, because in Barbie Land, I guess there's no money, so they're like, what, we have to pay for this? And then Ken starts to realize that he's like, this is like the opposite of Barbie Land. And I mean, maybe you don't agree with these sentiments. I mean, I'm not sure I do, but he's like, this world is ruled by men, that world's ruled by women, and he likes this. And then he finds out about the patriarchy, and he really likes it. And I thought it was funny too that Ken's um, like he sees like these cops on horses, and he sees horses, and he gets obsessed with horses. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, at first I thought the world was ruled by horses. He's like, but then I realized it was ruled by men, and then I lost interest. Or, but I don't know. He's like obsessed with horses. I thought that was hilarious. Ken has some really funny lines, and Ryan Gosling does a great job. Um, But yeah, I won't go through the whole plot. But overall, I liked the movie. I mean, it's pretty lighthearted. I know I didn't take it that seriously. Um, is there like an anti-male thing going on? I don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like I said, it's made for women, so it's not really made for me. But um, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't really take it that seriously. I think some of the some people criticizing it, I think maybe they're taking it a little too seriously. So, I mean, I'd say it's a pretty lighthearted movie. Um, some of the messaging's pretty good. I mean, there's like this subplot with this mom and her daughter, and the daughter doesn't really, she's a teenager. She doesn't really isn't really getting along with the mom, and in the end, they kind of reconnect. And she tells her mom, like, her mom's like an artist for Mattel, And in the end, she tells her mom that like she likes her art, and she thinks she's really talented, and I don't know. It's like some of that message I think's a pretty good. Um, there's definitely a lot of shots that were really cool. I mean, it's got a nice visual style to it. I mean, it's a lot of pink, but so so yeah, Ken kind of tries, and then Barbie goes to Mattel, and they try and get her to go back to Barbie Land, and she doesn't want to. And then Ken goes back to Barbie Land, and he starts kind of leading like an uprising with the other Kens, and and then um, and then Barbie is like, well, we have to get the Kens to fight each other. Oh yeah, and they're gonna change the Constitution so that they rule Barbie Land and make it into Ken Land or something like that. Uh, and there's some really funny scenes there with Ken. Like, what does he call his house? Like Casa Dojo, like the Casa Dojo, Ken House or something. I don't know. It's pretty funny. I think definitely he has the best lines in the movie, but you know, and then Barbie's like, well, we have to get the Kens to fight each other. So then she kind of does that and instigates that, and then they kind of have this war scene, which I thought was pretty funny because they're all on these fake horses and they're charging at each other, and he's like storming the beach, like it's like Normandy or something. He's like storming the beach, and then there's the Kens on the other side, and then he's fighting them. Um, I was kind of like, well, like what's the subtext of that? Like that wars are fought. I don't know. You could read into it what you want there. It's, like that's my like I don't think it's so cut and dry about some of the criticism of the movie. But I mean, I understand the criticism, and I'm not saying it's totally fake. So but it just didn't bother me that much. It's got a really good style to it. There's definitely some funny scenes, some good acting. Um, and in the end, it's like Ken kind of when they're fighting, they forget to vote to change the Constitution, so that falls through. And then in the end, Ken is like, kind of like crying, and she's kind of crying, um, and then she kind of apologizes for saying that he can't stay there, and she's like, every night's girls' night, and then when Ken took over, every night's boys' night. And it's funny, they're like drinking like brewskis, and there's no liquid in them. I don't know. It's like it's pretty funny, and then she kind of apologizes for that. So, there's some back and forth. Like she kind of messed up, and so did he. So, um, but yeah, it's making tons of money. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a sequel. I wonder what they would do for that. But Will Ferrell's in it. He's the CEO of Mattel. I don't know. He's in it just a little bit, and he kind of disappears in the end, and then he comes out of like a house, and he's there. So it's like the movie kind of forgot about him a little bit, but he's okay. But really, the movie's about Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie, and this subplot with this mother and daughter, and then there's a couple Kens that are in the movie a lot too. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I thought it was okay. It's not the greatest movie ever. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. But check it out if you're interested. Uh, there's definitely some nice imagery in the movie, some good colors, definitely some nice shots. Even though a lot of it's probably CGI, but So I don't know. That's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.